Good evening. I am Amy Samari, the president of the Arlington Heights Memorial Library Board of Trustees, and I would like to call to order the Board of Library Trustees meeting this Tuesday night, November 18th, 2025. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Burrell?
Here.
Trustee Gala is absent. Trustee Kelly?
Here.
Trustee McLean?
Here.
Trustee Meta?
Here.
Trustee Watts?
Here.
President Samari?
Here. We could please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do we have any public comment tonight? No public comment. Okay. How about liaison reports?
I didn't have anything from the Friends, but they did say they are planning for next year's election. So that has started, but they had no other updates. And then I see Lori Harp is here from our foundation, so.
Happy fall, everybody.
Happy fall.
I don't know if any of you, or all of you, have seen our 2025 impact report. This is the third one that we have done. And I am actually shocked that we had so much to fill a page or 3 pages.
Yeah.
We spent so much time this year raising funds for the bookmobile. So we send this out to all of our donors. And on the back is listed the donors from just this year. One of our goals on our strategic plan was to grow the foundation donor base. And clearly we're right there. We're making that happen. So bookmobile report. So we've got 6 weeks left to come up with that final number of $150,000 that we've pledged to the bookmobile, and I am confident that we're gonna make it. I don't know what the final numbers are right now. We're getting close. We have some promises, but until the check is in the bank, I don't. But without those checks in the bank, we needed another 20,000. And we have heard that we have another 10 or 15 coming. But again, until those checks are in the bank, I'm not counting them, but we'll let you know as soon as we hit that number. So we had a great fall advisory team celebration. I want to thank Mike and Amy for joining us. It was really a great opportunity to mingle and talk with the board and some of our advisory team members. And, you know, we all, like you, sit around a board table and don't do much socialization. So it was really nice for the Maronis to host us. And I thank both of you for coming and for your support and all the wonderful things you said about us. We made us do really good. Our ornament distribution the ornament distribution starts on the 22nd of this month. We will be using the drive-up window, and sales stop on December 1st. So we think we can get all of those out. We think we sold about 125 to 150. We're not sure what the last numbers are because online and direct sales were 2 different things. So anyway, we felt pretty good about it. The best part was, I think, for the time we spent all summer at the farmers market and at Harmony Fest, and really gave us an opportunity to reach out into the community and for them to know what the difference between you, us, and the Friends are. It gave us an opportunity to really talk to the public. So that was good. But it was a busy summer. Our development committee has been working hard all summer. We take the summer off so the development and marketing and some of the other committees can actually get some work done and not just plan for the next meeting. And they've been working very hard on our 3rd year of celebrating International Women's Day. And they're bringing in a speaker. We're going to grow it this year. We're going to move it to the Hendrickson Room. One of the reasons we wanted, well, we have outgrown the maker place. Last year it was how would you call it? It was finally orchestrated, which
Oh, absolutely.
down to a T, but there were just too many people. The noise affects the rooms are so open, and so we're gonna try something different this year. And we have a speaker coming in, and the title this year is Real Women, Remarkable Stories, because everyone's story matters. The reservations open January 1st. What we want to do is not only talk about how you would develop your own story, but we want to bring in some of the library staff to talk about how you can tell your story by using the resources here at the library to tie that together. So we're very excited about that. And finally, we look forward to sharing with all of you next, hopefully spring, when we get our new bookmobile. There's a lot of moving parts. I know that you're all involved in moving parts and I'm pushing, I see Sasha's over there. I'm pushing Sasha and graphics so that we can share with some of our bigger donors what their options are as far as being listed on the back of the bookmobile. And I know that we're continuing to work on that. I know that you've got some other branding issues going on right now, but you know, my job is to push and I do a pretty good job about it. So do you any of you have any questions about anything that we've been doing or you'd like us to do?
I have a couple thoughts. One, I love this, and when I got it, a couple of my favorite things, I love how the pictures, but how you actually show your donors. This is what we gave our money to this year, and this is how much we've supported the library since our inception. I think that's really important. So it's obvious why you win the Platinum Transparency Award for your finances every year. So that's wonderful. And just while you were speaking, a couple things for the ornaments, I loved that. I follow two social media accounts based in Arlington Heights, the two book ladies, and then that young couple, I should know the name of it, who promotes Arlington Heights like crazy. And they both had a post or pushed the ornaments. So I thought that was great. And even if people don't buy them from their post, at least they know about it. So I thought that was terrific. And they were both at One Book, One Village. So I'm sure that maybe before, or at least that night, that's where the connection was made. And it was fabulous to hear our One Book, One Village author shout out the foundation and make a donation of $1,000 that night. That was terrific. And the other thing, just while you're talking about your speaker, I am wondering, we have this wonderful new sound system in the Hendrickson room. Clearly, the goal is to get people there. But I'm wondering if you could take the speaker and perhaps later we could put it on the library YouTube page.
Oh,
I
we
mean,
can talk about that.
yeah, I mean, it's just something to think about. Again, I recognize that you want people there and that's really the goal, but it's always nice to have that for someone who couldn't attend.
Sure. Well, and it's a working session.
Right.
So, you know, they'll walk away with not only some skills, but hopefully some ideas that they've jotted down in a book. There are, and I don't know the name of it because maybe you do, because I haven't been involved with the
Check my notes.
committee. Yeah, check my notes. But there are opportunities for almost like a stand-up opportunity to tell stories. And there are several groups around that do that, and we want to promote that evening where people can go if they want to have that activity or participate or listen.
Right.
So we want to try to give people as much information as we can about telling your stories.
It sounds great.
Yeah, it should be a great evening.
Wonderful. So how many people, if you know, were there last year? I know,
We capped it at 100
Right.
last year.
and this room is bigger,
Yeah, but
yeah,
because we're not gonna use theater seating, we're gonna use a table so that people can actually work.
yeah.
We're limited to 144.
Okay, well, 44
So it's
more.
growing,
Yeah.
it's growing. And one of the pluses that I see is, last year, somebody came up, excuse me, to our development chair and said, it is so wonderful that the foundation for the maker place is supporting the bookmobile. Oh my God. Any problem? We got a marketing problem here. So I have been very careful about always stating that Arlington Heights Memorial Library Foundation, aside from Maker Place or any bookmobile, people see you in one spot and obviously identify you with, oh, they're the Maker Place. And because we were promoting the Maker Place in the beginning to get people in there, so they associated, we were the Maker Place Foundation. So it'll be good to be back here this year
Nice,
for
yeah.
to broaden our brand
Yeah,
and our identity.
wonderful.
But thank you for all the support that
Yeah.
you have given us. We really appreciate it. We really do. You guys have come through over and over again and we appreciate that.
Well, you have come through for the library and for the community, so thank you for that very much.
I've got a good team.
You do. You know how to build a good team, and that's important, so thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Moving on to the approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting, our October 21st board meeting. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and now we need to approve the minutes from our joint meeting with the Park District that took place on October 25th, 2025. May I have a motion
So moved.
and a second?
Seconded.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That was a really nice opportunity to touch base with our Park District friends and hear about their updates and tell them about ours. Now moving on to the third item on our agenda, which is authorization of trustee expenditures. I would like, so this is because Trustee Kelly and I submitted expenses to attend the ILA conference in Rosemont. Mine are double because I went 2 days. So I'm gonna abstain from this, and Trustee Kelly would abstain from this as well, but we do still have a quorum, so.
I move that the Board of Library Trustees approves the reimbursement to President Samari in the amount of $78.90. And Trustee Kelly in the amount of $32.50 for travel expenses to the Illinois Library Association. Seconded.
All right, so the motion was made by Trustee Burrell and seconded by Trustee Watts. Could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Burrell? Yes. Trustee Kelly?
Abstain.
Trustee McClaney?
Yes.
Trustee Meta?
Yes.
Trustee Watts? Yes. President Samar?
Abstain. Thank you. Since we do not, this board does not receive a stipend like many other elected boards in town, I would encourage board members, when we do have expenses, to put them through, because we don't expect board members to pay their own way to these things, but so that is that. Moving on to review the financial report for ending October 31st.
Okay, so there was no real estate tax revenue recognized in the month of October. The second installment property tax bills for Cook County were mailed on November 14th and are due December 15th. The library received personal property replacement taxes in the amount of $26,122.64 this month. Copier printer revenue totaled $4,755.90. Meeting room fees were $250. Collection fees for late items were $60. Lost item charges totaled $888.10. Our interest income for October was $11,177.54. Donations totaled $427.12. Let's see, the Friends of the Library reimbursed us $14,475.17, a bulk of which was for the One Book, One Village author event, community giveaway books, and library card sign-up month incentives. Revenue collected for vehicle stickers totaled $380. Maker Place rental revenue was $50. Maker Place miscellaneous revenue was $765.63. Other income was $565.14, and the total revenue collected in October was $59,917.24. For expenses, 83% of the fiscal year has lapsed, and we've expensed 82% of our total operating budget. The favorable variance to date is $246,238. 64% of the total annual capital budget has been expensed as of October. The interior renovations are in progress and going well. I do have a couple of questions regarding the financial dashboard that I'll go through now. What is left to purchase on the property line under expenditures? So we do have additional furniture replacement that we are purchasing. However, much of the remaining property is facilities and IT contingency for the main library and Maker Place, which we hope will not be needed. Next question, if $150,000 was included in the 2025 capital budget from the foundation, does that mean that there is no funding from the foundation allocated for the 2026 budget? The foundation funding is excluded from our budget, so the foundation pretty much just writes a check directly to the vendor, so it doesn't come through us. So funding sources for the first $300,000 in 2025 were $50,000 from the foundation, $150,000 that we had in donations, and then $100,000 that was budgeted in our own budget. Budgeted for 2026 is $100,000 Friends estimate, but we don't have a solid commitment on that. We have $56,000 in trust and other donations, and then another $57,000 that the library has budgeted. We expect another $100,000 to be funded by the foundation to get us to that $313,000 balance due in 2026, but that piece does not flow through our budget, so that will be separate.
So, why then does it say under the status notes across from Bookmobile, it says includes $150,000?
That was for the donations that we received from estates. So that was donation money that we had outside of the foundation.
Okay, not
the foundation. Foundation
Gotcha.
Contributed $50,000 this year.
Gotcha, okay. And so if they make their goal, which we think and hope they will, that will go to next year.
Correct. $100,000 of that will, and they'll just pay the Bookmobile vendor directly, and so that'll just come off our bill.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then the next question, with fewer than 6 weeks left to go in the year, how do we feel we're doing on the budget in the renovation? So at this point, we're estimating that the project will come in at around $1,060,000, barring any unforeseen contingencies as we enter the fourth phase. We have $1,140,000 budgeted, so at this point, we're estimating approximately $80,000 under budget for the project.
That's great.
Yeah. And then do we expect the Wi-Fi upgrade in the capital budget to come in this year at $18,000? Yes, we are waiting for final approval of the E-rate funding because we want to be able to do a bigger purchase this year and get more for our money. But either way, that should come in around $18,000. Where on the financial dashboard does it indicate our intention to move money from the operating budget to the capital budget, or is it simply not indicated there? Interfund transfers, budgeted or actual, are not included in the dashboard. They would be visible on the revenue or expenditure reports when they're performed. And then the Friends board meeting minutes motion that they were going to contact you regarding donation related to the Bookmobile. Do we know exactly how much money they've allocated for the Bookmobile? We don't have an exact amount. We have heard that they are donating the proceeds from one of their recent sales, which was around $26,000 as of at this point. That's what they're committing to. So, but we know there's some other things in the works. That is all the questions I had on the financial dashboard. Anybody have any other questions?
Anybody else have questions? All right. Okay, moving on to review the check register for the period ending October 31st.
Okay, first one is on page 1 and page 23. It's check 105054 to Age of Learning for $7,209.70. This is a three-year subscription to Adventure Academy, which is an educational, massively multiplayer online game for elementary and middle school age children. It features thousands of enjoyable e-learning activities such as videos, reading experiences, games, quizzes, and many other interactive elements, all within the framework of US and international curriculum standards. The portion related to 2025 is shown on page 23, while the portion prepaid for future years is on page 1. On page 2, check 105063 to AHML, that is a American Express charge to Hulu for $33.94. That's 2 charges. There were 2 fraudulent charges that were identified and reported to American Express. American Express has the case open, but we have not received reimbursement yet. They have stated that they will be crediting our account for that. This is typical of what we see with American Express. They do eventually resolve our cases. And in 2026, we plan to switch to Chase Visa to see if we can expect fewer incidents and faster, easier resolution. On page 5, check 105155 to Peregrine, Stein, Newman, Ritzman, and Bruckner in the amount of $2,137.50. That is legal services, July through September, including contract review from Tech Ops for the bookmobile, reviewing a land lease for the EV charging stations in the main library parking lot, discussions about selling and serving alcohol at library events, and review and discussion of ADA policies. Then on page 5, check 105168 to Robin Schwartz in the amount of $2,248.75. That is also legal services. That is through September 30th, and that's relating to FOIA requests. So that is a different attorney that we use for FOIA requests. On page 6, check 105063 to AHML. That is another American Express charge that is for constant contact. That is in the amount of $3,833.90. That is our annual payment for constant contact, which is a service we use for sending out our email communications to the public about library news, programs, and services. On page 6, check 105156 to Natalie Pechenik in the amount of $2,000. That's services for program promotional graphics, including posters, social email graphics, and a few newsletter graphics. On page 6, check 105161 to Precision Language and Graphics in the amount of $2,359.71. That is translation services for promotional materials, all paid in the current month due to a billing issue on the vendor's end. When a program is offered in another language, we typically use this translation service to translate the program information into different languages for inclusion in the newsletter about the promotional materials or other materials. We also sometimes translate marketing materials about library services into different languages to help raise awareness within our diverse community. On page 8, check 105163 to Qualtrics in the amount of $3,500. That is cost for service or for storage and hosting space and the ability to access and compare current and past employee engagement survey data for our engagement survey coming up next year. On page 9, check 105133 to Laurel Communications in the amount of $3,650. This is for streaming the One Book, One Village author event, and that is funded by our Friends of the Library. This is a fee to bring in a professional with his equipment and handle the setup, live editing, and streaming. This is different than streaming in our Hendrickson room since we are bringing in the equipment and expertise with a third-party company to Force View.
So when we did it in the Hendrickson room last year, he also came in.
He did, yeah.
Gotcha.
He brought in his own equipment and did all of his same stuff. On page 11, check 105063 to AHML. That is another American Express charge. That is to pdq.com in the amount of $1,402.50. PDQ annual license renewal that it performs software updates for our computers and servers throughout the library, so it helps us to keep them up to date. On page 13 and page 55, check 105101 to Garden Guy Incorporated. There are two checks. One is, or I'm sorry, yeah, there's I think two amounts. $1,954. That is for the main library, and then $820 is the Maker Place. So that is landscaping services. These are extras that we did for this year. For the main library, it was to replace a number of perennials that had died, mainly in the south parking lot, as well as cutting down a large dead pine tree on the Vale Street side of the building. For Maker Place, it was to replace some of the perennials that had died, as well as planting grass seed at the front of the building. So if you've been over there, it was getting very muddy over there. So we planted some new grass. On page 19, check 105189 to Unique Management Services in the amount of $315.20. That is collection services for customers with overdue materials. Page 23, check 105063 to HML. This is another American Express charge. This time it's to Backpages in the amount of $2,451. That is a one-year subscription to the Backpage database, which is a unique database of articles from music publications, interviews, and podcasts. The subscription complements some of the library's music-focused programming. Now on page 54, check 105057 to Ambius in the amount of $3,839.94. That is our interior landscaping at the Maker Place, including plants and performing maintenance such as watering and periodic replacement. The Friends fund the interior landscaping at the main building, and we plan to approach them about the Maker Place as well. That is everything I have for the check register. Anybody else have questions?
Anyone else? Okay. Our treasurer is not here tonight. Would someone make a motion, please?
Motion to approve the check register dated October 31st, 2025 for the amount of $1,797,650.21. Cover all things.
So, may I have a second?
A second.
All right, the motion was made by trustee Watts and seconded by trustee Kelly. May I have a roll call, please? Trustee Burrell? Yes. Trustee Kelly?
Aye.
Trustee McLean?
Yes.
Trustee Meadow? Yes. Trustee Watts?
Yes.
President Schwarn? Aye. All right. And on to our executive director's report.
Alrighty. This was an exciting month with our One Book One Village, concluding. So we had about 350 people fill the Forest View Educational Center Theater on October 28th to hear the best-selling author, Fiona Davis, discuss her novel, The Stolen Queen, while another 62 viewers watched the event live on the library's YouTube channel. Davis discussed a range of topics with Chicago-based writer and editor Allison Cuddy, the monitor for the evening. The Stolen Queen was announced as the book for One Book, One Village 2025 at the end of August, and since then, copies of the book circulated more than 1,600 times. More than 1,300 people attended book discussions and related programming, including the library's after-hours event inspired by the Met Gala, and staff promoted OBOB to more than 1,200 people at outreach events. Davis and Cuddy's conversation was followed by an audience Q&A and book signing. A video recording of the entire interview and event is available for viewing on the library's YouTube channel. Special thanks to the Friends of the Library for supporting the library event. Then on page 3, we had a number of staff present at the Illinois Library Conference in Rosemont. Last month, our Info Services Manager, Joe Lee, co-presented Navigating Self-Censorship, Soft Censorship, and the Chilling Effect in Illinois Libraries. Our Programs and Exhibits Manager, Jennifer, co-presented the poster session Speaker Programming Made Easy with Illinois Libraries Presents. Electronic Resources Librarian Bill co-presented the panel presentation E-Resources for All. Our English as a Second Language and Literacy Coordinator, Tracy, presented the poster session Engaging with English Language Learners, Strategies for Effective Communication with Positive Outcomes. Our Genealogy and Local History Librarian, Eddie, presented Heritage or Hierarchy, Removing Barriers to Access in Genealogy and Local History and Programs. Our Exhibits Coordinator, Nikki, co-presented with the iRead Committee on the 2026 Summer Reading Theme, Plant a Seed, Read. And I co-presented 2 sessions at the Library Council pre-conference focused on artificial intelligence. So we had very good showing at the ILA this year as far as presentations go. All right, on page 4, Inclusion Awareness Month. Throughout October, the library celebrated its 8th annual Inclusion Awareness Month, highlighting a commitment to inclusive programs and services and fostering dialogue with the community and its partner organizations. Nearly 200 participants took part in 7 featured programs designed for both adults and youth. The celebration kicked off with a Monster Mash costume party hosted with community partner Northwest Special Recreation Association at Conyers Learning Center. Other events included the Our Time celebration, Our Time Developmental Playgroup, Social Worker in the Library, the Chicago Lighthouse Low Vision Products Roadshow, Resource Hour, Clearbrook, and Healthy Living for Your Brain and Body. Staff across multiple departments plan, implement, and collaborate to present the feature programming and book list recommendations. And then on page 5, Halloween fun. Looked like Hollywood. Dinosaurs, Witches, and Skeletons invaded Kids World for the library's annual Halloween fun. A morning and afternoon carnival of crafts, games, and only slightly spooky experiences for kids of all ages. Rather than candy or toys, each participant received a Halloween-themed prize book, sure to offer a little more nutritional value for kids. A total of 611 babies, kids, and their grown-ups attended, many sharing positive feedback through words and smiles. On page 6, Hispanic Heritage Month. The library celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month with the launch of a bilingual English-Spanish webpage featuring book lists, resources, programs, and local events. One of the programs was our Pass cooking program in the Maker Place Kitchen, where a local community member shared the dish's cultural significance. Our Community and Circulation Services Manager Shannon and Community Engagement Supervisor Catalina represented the library at Harper College's Harper Fiesta, connecting with attendees and promoting library services, One Book, One Village, and the After Hours Gala. And then I have to mention the K-pop Demon Hunters. The film K-pop Demon Hunters is currently having a cultural moment, especially among kids and youth of all ages. Staff who are fans of the movie from youth services and digital services collaborated to present a K-pop Demon Hunters party to an overwhelming community response, with 404 family members attending this afternoon event. And then on the bottom of the same page, I just want to mention that in April 2025, our collection services staff completed a refresh of the new and popular area on the first floor. More space was added to the popular collections like fiction, mystery, and biography and memoir. As a result, checkouts increased by 6% for the fiction genres, 12% for general nonfiction, and 34% for biography and memoirs. So that's the area right by our vending campaign. And then on page 7, just to highlight some of the things that the library is doing to respond to social and economic needs. Our programs and exhibit specialist, Neil, community engagement supervisor, Catalina, and Chef Brian launched another PADS season with a community cooking program, preparing dinner and dessert for 50 guests at the First Presbyterian Church shelter. Now in its third year, the library's partnership with Journeys, The Road Home, and PADS continues to raise awareness and combat food insecurity in the community. Our info services librarians created a list of local food resources for the library's website during the SNAP interruption that took effect on November 1st. In October, the English as a Second Language and Literacy team hosted 56 programs for adult English language learners, and 611 people participated in total for these classes. And to help adult English language learners apply real-world communication skills, ESL and literacy coordinator Tracy led 2 student groups to a local cafe where they practiced reading menus, ordering food, and conversing in English. For many, it was their first brunch experience, and the response was overwhelmingly positive. And then on the bottom of page 7, the last thing, the Maker Place joined the One Book, One Village celebration with themed programs, including laser etch a cartouche, sculpt your own Egyptian hippopotamus, and Beyond the Book, where attendees made grape stuffed leaves with Chef Brian before discussing the book. That is everything I was going to highlight in the director's report, but I do have a couple of other things that were questions related to numbers and stuff that, unless anybody has anything specifically in the director's report for me to address first.
I have just one
Yeah.
quick thing. I think, can you please include more and larger pictures of the kids' Halloween? I'm not-
They're adorable. Sasha, there's. They're on Facebook.
Stop.
I must have missed that.
Okay, first question, can you please explain the e-charging parking spots, including how much we expect to earn and how we publicize it? So we just signed a contract to have 2 EV chargers, which will feed 4 parking spaces in the parking lot. These are going to be fast chargers, so we don't expect people to park there all day charging. These are pretty powerful ones, and a normal charge would take probably a half hour to 40 minutes or so. So we've signed a contract to lease the land to them for $600 a month. That's those 4 spaces. They'll be in the kind of like the farthest extended corner of the lot. The company Heartland will cover all the installation and maintenance costs on the 2 units. So it's, 2 charging units, but 4 spots. And thank you to Carol for that. I don't want to say tip because you mentioned our name and they accidentally worked on ours. So worked out quite well.
Is it $600 a charger or $600?
600 total. It's $150 per spot.
Gotcha.
So we have 4 spots at
Nice,
$600.
nice.
Okay.
What's gonna be your revenue on it?
We're just taking the fixed $600.
Okay.
Because you could either do that or a
We're
percent.
doing the percent, so we'll.
Okay. Yeah, we'll compare that stuff.
How long is the contract? Like,
can't remember, is it,
I think it's
5 years, yeah.
5 years.
yeah, it's 5 years with a option to renew it 3 times.
Right,
So I get the 3 and the 5.
Right.
confused
Yeah.
sometimes, But
And will we be publicizing that
Yeah.
once it's,
yeah,
you know?
once it's in place and we
Right.
have, yeah. Okay, how many people are registered for the Rights and Resources online session? Registration was not required. It will be recorded, one of our staff had texted me right before this because it's going on right now, said they had 14 people on at the start of the program, so. At the village board meeting, I mentioned that the Friends and Foundation volunteer hours are included in the volunteer hours on the dashboard. Can I confirm that? Yes. So the hours that we report as volunteer hours, both in the report that we have, I think if we still have volunteer hours on here, and in our annual report, that includes everything, all of our volunteers that report to us. So the foundation doesn't really report their hours. The Friends reports some of their hours, so they report their book sale work in the workroom. But they don't report like time that they spend in meetings or at the actual book sale. So that is really up to them on what they want to report to us, and that we use to gauge, how many people have put in the most number of hours. But the number that was reported at the village board meeting was the whole inclusive number of all of those.
The same number you report to us every.
Exactly, right, yeah. Then the recent redesign of the new and popular section has delivered impressive results with circulation for biography and memoir up 34%. Are there plans to implement similar redesign strategies in other collection areas? Yes, so in 2026, I talked about this a little bit when we were doing our budget. We are contracting with a consultant to look at the main floor, and one of the things that we'll be focused on is marketing our materials and our collection. And so there is special training as well as some testing that'll be done for marketing the collection. So that is something that we have planned for 2026 as we continue to organize the main floor. Year-to-date 3D print jobs have increased by 29%. Is our current equipment sufficient to meet this demand, or should we consider additional printers or allocate more staff time? Yes, our current 3D printers they do meet the demand. If you recall, we recently replaced those 3D printers. So we had a dozen Dremel printers previously that we purchased with the help of our friends when the Maker Place opened, and we recently replaced those with 6 of a newer model. They're not Dremel, they're Carbonex ones, and which are much faster, and the maintenance on them is a little bit easier, and the administration of them is much better. So they can crank out a lot more prints that way. So we did check with that staff, and they said, no, we are good with the 6 printers that we currently have. We may add some down the road if it continues to grow, but at this point, we're good. Niche Academy views have grown by 163%, which is exponential. What factors are driving the surge, and how are we ensuring continued support for this growth? So one of the reasons for the increased growth is that staff created QR codes for each training video that we have on Niche Academy and put them directly on the equipment at the Maker Place. So that we do have a lot of training videos for that equipment and the different stations over there. So now people can come up and they can scan that QR code and get that training video right on their phone, which makes it super accessible and super easy. So we attribute a big part of that number to that redesigned it over there. That makes our video training content more visible. It's easier to scan, and we do have staff that are working on this and have goals in 2026 to create more content. So we'll continue to see that growth, we believe. Okay, and then, yeah, I think that's it. Those are all the questions that I've had on the director's report. Anybody have any questions about numbers or anything?
No, well, you have been out and about in the community as always, so that's wonderful. And it was terrific to see, Forest View, it felt like every seat was full.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. A really wonderful evening, and I usually feel like I like the book better after I clear the audit. Even if I liked it the first time, so.
So next up, we have staff from our youth services to talk about teen services. So I would invite you to come on up, and we'll bring your presentation up on the screen here. And, yeah. We're gonna go up. Here, this is. Okay, so we're just gonna share the presentation and then we'll be good to go. Okay. Perfect. We'll click on side first, so. Nice. All right. You can have this.
Okay, Trixie said I could hide behind this. So I'm Alejandra Galarza, I'm the teen librarian here, and I'm here to talk to you about the state of the library services to teens. So first of all, with the project,
There you go.
there we go. Okay, so first of all, let us start off with a definition of what are teens? Who are teens? So teens, as we define them for our programming and services purposes, are those kids who are in grades 7 through 12. So you can see here, a lot of activity. So when we really think about our teens and the services we're providing to them, we as like kind of a department, think of them in two different ways. And one is our middle schoolers. So developmentally, middle schoolers are discovering themselves and finding their place in the world. So here you can see some students from the middle school science Olympiad that took place at the Maker Place really recently, I think it was last month. And we are also supporting our high schoolers who are preparing for adulthood and independence. So we think about these two different groups a little bit uniquely when we're thinking about what programs do we do to support them. So this of course is from the teen job fair that we have in in March. I've been talking about it too much that I forgot. In March, and we work with the Park District and Youth Commission on making that a very successful event where teens can come and meet potential future employers and maybe get their first job. So who serve teens here at the library? So Christy would contender right here. So we have a wonderful group of youth services librarians who really focus on teens specifically and think about their needs developmentally, what they need at the library, who really are the ones who do a lot of the outreach for teens and the programs for teens and staff the hub desk, which serves teens as well. However, all of youth services and really the entire library serve teens too. So it's a really group effort and it takes a village. When you think about teen services and you think about HML, you probably think about the hub. So if you are unfamiliar with the hub, it's our space in the library that is dedicated to those teens who are in grades 7 through 12. It is only open for them. We are open after school and during the breaks, we are open a bit earlier so that they can take advantage of some extra hours. And we're open on the weekends as well. And there is always a youth services staff member who is there to help them find really great books for themselves, answer any reference questions, and just overall facilitate the space for them as well. So the hub has all sorts of different things to do and resources. Most recently, we had two study rooms that were built during the most recent refresh. And they are constantly in use, especially now as we are barreling towards finals time. You'll see a lot of very stressed high schoolers kind of meeting with friends and then slowly getting off track a little bit. But of course, these rooms are used for more than just studying. We have kids who have checked it out to play the guitar that's in the hub, to play board games, or even to write all the different band logos they can think of on whiteboard. So it's always interesting to see what different things they're getting it out to. Our DIY area that's in the hub is also very popular. So we have different monthly activities for them to do there, different craft kits for them to do. We also have a Cricut for them to use and a 3D printer that now that the Maker Place has new 3D printers, is the same exact one as the Maker Place. And you might be asking, why do you need these things if you have a Maker Place? And for our purposes, some of our teens are a little intimidated to go into a new building. And so this is a good launch pad for them to be able to experience it a little bit. And then us to be like, there's a full Maker Place with all of this. stuff, do you want to go explore that? And so these teens had created shirts for their mock trial that they were doing in the hub. So it's always fun to see what happens. But of course, the hub is also about fun and entertainment and socializing. So teens can come and they can grab board games off the shelves. Lately, we've been having a puzzle for them to do, and we've got like just always passive activities like our Blackboard wall always has different prompts and just all sorts of different things that they can get up to. I think that these might be our bro night kids. We have some recently, some middle schoolers who have been having a bro night on Friday nights, and they come and play a bunch of board games. It's a lot of fun to see. But we also do have standard programs that we have. So our events for teens run everything from like their needs and their wants. So we'll have movie screenings and social events, but we'll also have test prep programs and career readiness things as well. We do use the Maker Place too for some programs. So you'll see here, we do have some culinary programs, so they get to explore different like creating different culinary things. So here we have a teen who is learning how to make fresh pasta as taught by Chef Grace. And this is also, like I said, some teens feel intimidated going into the Maker Place. It's a new space. If they need their parent to sign something, that's an extra little thing that they have to do. But this gives them a chance to explore that space in a kind of a control setting. So sometimes we'll do things like sewing programs where these teens got to learn how to make a dino nugget pillow. One of our kind of popular categories of programs lately have been programs that are focused on social and gaming. Especially when you combine those, like a social program that has some gaming components. So this is from a recent live action Clue program where they got to walk around in these different quote unquote rooms that we set up in this space and solve a whodunit. We also have frequent Dungeons and Dragons games, which is very popular with a group of our teens. This is just one table. We usually have 2 different tables going at a time so that we can serve as many teams as we can in this time. And Lisa Hale at the Maker Place has also taught our gaming group how to paint minifigures for their games as well. And when I selected these photos, I did not realize I had a teen who is in all 3 of them. So that's an example that we do have teen power users here at the library too. So if you were to do some research on teen reading and teens and reading in the year 2025, you might be met with some headlines that are a little bit less than positive, a little bit of concerning stats about high school reading levels. And so we are trying to find ways to connect to our readers. So we do have, of course, like in the middle photo, we have your more traditional way to reach your readers through book displays. And we usually in the hub, when we have a book display, try and include some sort of interactive element to really like, even if they're like, I don't want to look at those books, maybe they'll want to go and answer like a trivia question that's on one of the platforms and then they'll check out one of the books nearby. These are our middle school volunteer panelists on the left over here, and they have designed and created some new bookends for us to use in the hub that are based on more updated series that are popular with their age group. And we have been trying some programs lately, like this is our book tasting event that is something that our teen advisor Nicole came up with, where she selected certain genres and tropes that are very popular and selected books from the collection, and the teens could come around and like just take their time, sit down, read them, look at them, and check out anything that they wanted. This winter we will also be having a cozy reading lounge that I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. So it's kind of gonna be a chance for them to unplug. We're gonna be in the Cardinal room and we're just gonna make it a very cozy ambient vibe. There will be a hot chocolate bar. And I will be bringing in a bunch of free books that they can just take. So anything to try and get them into more books. We do also have some more traditional ideas for reading, like reading programs. So we do have winter and summer reading that we do participate in. But we also have year-long programs. So when Carrie talked to you last month, she probably told you about 100 Books Before High School. That also serves the lower end of our teen range, our 7th and 8th graders. So just as the title says, we are encouraging them to read 100 books before high school and they will get prizes along the way. For high schoolers, We have a year-long program called Fourscore. And for that program, we do it based off the Lincoln Award list. And that is a list every year of 20 different books that are nominated. And in the early spring, teens can vote on what their favorite was. You have to read at least 4 to vote, so that is what the bare minimum we are asking. Please vote, please read 4 books and vote for them. You might also be familiar with lit crates for adults and tweens. We also have lit crates for teens as well, so they can fill out a questionnaire. What sort of books do they like? What do they not like to read? What are their hobbies? What are they participating in? What are their favorite movies? And we will select a book from the collection specifically tailored to them and give them a bunch of goodies that they can keep. In addition, this is a new thing that we are trying. So for those of us in the hub who are very familiar with teen literature and stuff like that, we are a little bit further from our main collection. So we are looking for ways to reach, to passively reach our readers. Because I have been walking through the teen stacks and you will see kids with like stacks of books and I'm like, I've never seen this kid before in the hub. And so like, I understand, I was the kind of kid, I rode my back to the library, checked out all the things and was like, please don't talk to me, goodbye, after I checked out my stuff. So we're looking for ways to get reading suggestions into the hands of those kids who may be a little bit shyer to come up or think that they know what kind of books that they like. And this is like a little thing that we have on like a little shorter platform somewhere embedded in the collection. So it has like, if you like One of Us is Dying, which is a very popular series. And I want to not mention K-pop Demon Hunters, but you also have a read alikes for if you like K-pop Demon Hunters. So we're really trying to find ways to keep these updated. And we also have things like Native American Heritage Month on the list too. So we do keep this fresh and updated throughout the year. Okay, we love going to the schools. So these are from our visits to D214. We go every single month to the District 214 schools that we serve. So that includes Percy, that includes Prospect, Buffalo Grove High School, Rolling Meadows, and we also go to Forest View to visit the newcomer and the Vanguard programs there as well. So I have not been using my notes anymore, and I have a number that I wanted to share with you, so I should probably look for that. So when we go to these, we bring all sorts of activities. We partner with the other public libraries that also serve the students at those schools, and we all bring activities for them to do during their lunch periods. And the number of students that the average students we serve in a month at these are 286 teens that we are seeing each month through these visits. And they're just a lot of fun. We are also trying some other outreach things. This time we went to some the mascots get in on the fun too. We went to some District 214 football games. We went to a total of 3. We selected them specifically because we knew they would be popular, like going to the homecoming games or going to the biggest rivalry games. So that's how we were able to, oh no. So that's how we were able to, that's how we were able to get to the most popular games that only limit our going to like 3 games. And we engaged with a total of over 1,300 people at each of those football games. And so we saw over 400 people at each of the games. So we had a really big impact. And we had these special branded footballs that we were able to like come and give out. And we slipped out right before halftime. So right when the parents were realizing, where are all these projectiles coming from? We are also just really trying to make connections between us as the public library and these school libraries that are serving our youth. So this is a post from Rolling Meadows High School. Recently we had a meeting with all the District 25 and District 214 librarians that was hosted here at the hub. And at that meeting, these teachers, they are teachers, the teacher librarians each got a bin of fidgets. Are you guys familiar with what fidgets are? So if you like to move around a lot, but maybe you're sitting and taking a test and it's not socially acceptable to do that, you can grab something and just like kind of continuously be moving. So the ones that they got, you'll see almost perfectly match what we have, except for theirs will say it's courtesy of Arlington Heights Memorial Library. And it's just another thing to kind of make that connection between us as the public library and there's the libraries working together to support them in their. Okay, one of the biggest questions we get is, do you have volunteering opportunities for my teenager? And the answer is, we sure do. These are all from our summer volunteer squads, which was one of our biggest volunteering opportunities. It is seasonal, they just spend the summer volunteering. And they meet each week and put together either a service or a program that they're going to present later in the summer to the public. And this July, whoop, I went a little too fast. This July, our summer volunteer run programs were attended by 298 community members in the month of July. So that is a huge portion of program attendees that are being led by our summer volunteer squads. And our main volunteer opportunity throughout the year is our 2 volunteer boards. So we have middle school volunteer panel, which of course is our middle schoolers, and we have teen advisory board, which is our high schoolers. And a lot of times we'll collaborate on different projects. So we'll do the same thing for MVP, teen advisory board, and for TAG, so that we can like make the biggest impact. So when we made these placemats for Meals on Wheels, we did it with all of those groups, and we're able to give them 170 placemats to give out to Meals on Wheels recipients. And this is just like one of the ways that we can always say, yes, you can volunteer, sign up for this and come and volunteer and make a difference in your community. And teen volunteers have volunteered for over 1,800 hours at HML this year, and that's as of October, when I asked Jennifer B to pull those numbers. And lastly, I kind of wanted to tell you about some different teen leadership opportunities. We're looking for ways to say yes to teens who want to be leaders in their community. So this is Erin from Percy High School. She reached out to us and asked us, can we have a way to display art that we curate for Asian American Heritage Month? And the answer is, I don't know, let's look into it and see what we can come up with. And it of course happened in May, which is the same month as the District 25 art show. So we already have a lot of art. So we were looking for creative ways to say yes, and we were able to have them hang up art at the front of the hub. And a lot of those people who came in for the art show from District 25 saw that there was more art, and they came and looked at it, and everybody just had a really great time with this. This is our Teen Filmmakers Festival crew. So that's the summer volunteer squad. You might be familiar with the Teen Film Fest. We changed it a little this year. We were kind of like asking ourselves, what does this program really need? And it is apparently to get it into the hands of the teen volunteers instead. So this crew worked to kind of reinvent the Teen Film Fest. And we reached out to the reason I have this on here is we reached out to one of our frequent Teen Film Fest entrants, because we knew he'd be kind of bummed if he couldn't enter in his traditional way. And we're like, would you like to be a leader in this group and really teach other kids how to make films and how to do that? And he was enthusiastic about doing that, and was one of our leaders on the squad as well. And just the photo on the right is a teen who taught how a teen culinary program, matcha cookies. So we are looking for other ways to give teens a way to teach other teens programs. And this, I think, is a great way for teens to also see other teens as leaders, see other teens as teachers, and it is very empowering for the teen who is teaching the program themselves. So we've had a couple of teens who have done programs, and we're always looking for other ways to say, yes, how can we make this happen again? So lastly, what's coming up in 2026? So the Hub's 13th birthday is in April. So the Hub is officially turning into a teenager itself. So this is from our last birthday celebration, and we will be doing something similar, which will be like a week-long just passive thing that teens can drop in. We've just found that this is just a much better way to include more of the community. As you can see, it's just a lot of fun. That teen is actually from the K-pop Demon Hunters photo too, was a volunteer at that event. And lastly, we're gonna be continuing to ask ourselves, what do teens in the year 2026 need? So if you looked at your dashboard on the thing, our teen numbers for our attendance for programs have been improving. And without increasing our programming sessions a lot. So we've really been internally asking ourselves, what do our teens in our community need? What changes do we need to make to our programs and services to really make the biggest impact? So that's teen services.
Yay.
questions, comments, concerns?
I have 3 teens who go into the hub and I think it's such a cool space. I mean, when I can peek through the windows, that's, I am not allowed, but like, it is such a great space to have that for teenagers. I mean, growing up, obviously not in this area, we didn't have anything like that. So it was either for little kids or adults, and there was just this huge chasm of people who were underserved in the community. So I think it's really neat the way that Arlington Heights has invested in teens. And my 3 kids do volunteering, so it's also a great way to get them into responsibility. And so they've really enjoyed the program. So I can't say enough good things about all the things you guys are doing.
Yeah, I'll just say, I think it's amazing that you have the kind of sample of a lot of the maker place equipment in the hub, because, that's just, we talked with Carrie last time about like kind of starting them when they're tweens, and then they continue when they're teens, and then they can use it when they're adults. So I love that. It's awesome. And I hadn't really thought about like, oh yeah, when I was a teenager, like I maybe was a little intimidated by a lot of things. So yeah, it just makes it a lot more accessible. Love it.
I love the opportunities for leadership that you're providing, and, different kids, different interests. Some kids get that through athletics, or they might get it through some other music or something else at school. But I love this. 2 thoughts. What do you do, or how do you handle, I'm sure you get the summer reading lists from the different high schools. You buy extra books. Do the librarians read those books? Do you, I don't know, do you do anything special with that, like book discussions or?
That is a great question that, I think we can definitely use some improvement on that. Our biggest. District 25 is the biggest user of those books, I will say, like
Yeah.
their book list, they're the ones that are always checked out from that list. They're the ones that I can never find on the shelf when another District 25 parent is coming and is like, we need to read a book. And it's like, okay, let's see what we got. And we did improve that a little bit by doing hot picks for that this year. So there are some that can't be renewed or holdable.
Right.
But as far as us promoting them as much, I think we rely a little bit more on the schools, but that's definitely something I think that we can, take into consideration. I don't know that the book list that the District 25 has, each school has a little bit of a different way that they put out their book list that give a summary. And we've been in a little bit more in communication with the District 25 librarians, and we can ask what they're doing so that we can support them too.
Right.
Like, do they do book talks to all of their students? Because maybe if they're doing it, we can find a way to not replicate, but support that.
Yeah. Well, and I think we have at least 4 private schools in Arlington Heights. I know my kids went to one, so I always was happy when the books were here, so I didn't have to buy it. And I'm just thinking in high school, sometimes students have a little more time in the summer, and so if they know they're in a fall class that has a couple different books, to even read about it, have a book discussion. I don't know if that would be useful, but they do have more time. And in terms of your volunteers, I was just thinking, it's so impressive to go to the volunteer thank you lunch. And I wonder if how you might want to do like a teen volunteer of the year. I don't know, when students graduate and maybe they're off to Harvard or trade school or college, to do a little thank you so much for your 4 years, if it's been 4 years or maybe longer. Just seems like we're so grateful for all of our volunteers, and yours do a lot too.
Yeah, ours do a lot. We do have a teen volunteer celebration, which is our version of the teen recognition, and we do that in December. But me and the other volunteer coordinator for teens have been discussing how to move that more towards the end of the year. Right now, it's a little bit weird because we're like, okay, we need to plan to spend the budget again, because it's just because of the budget year. We're like, oh, we have to spend this budget for the teen recognition by the end of the year. So we're just looking for a way to maybe move it. And we're asking the teens to, like, when are you more available? Are you more available in December, or are you more available in May, when the end of the school year is happening, like when, because that's the other thing we have to consider with teens all the time is like, sometimes we wanna do a great program and the testing, graduation, things like that, so that is definitely something we have been talking about, changing it a little bit more. So that it's in line with what their graduation schedule is, more than just like at the end of the calendar year.
Right, and they all graduate earlier now than they ever used to, so
Yes.
May is their super busy month. But I have to say, because of the construction up here, I went to a book discussion. And it was in the hub, and it was so fun to be there. Great, so thank you for that, for letting OBLB use your, hub when there was construction. Thank you so much, wonderful, you guys do great work.
Birthday, keep this for me, Richard.
We are. All right, well, thank you very much. Let's see, what do we have to follow that, old business?
We don't have anything in old business, but we do have in new business, the per capita grant. Would you like me to go into that?
Yep.
All right, so around this time every year, we bring the per capita grant application to you or the requirements to you. To be talking about submission of this application here in January. At this point, we would normally give you a book or tell you to go back and read the Illinois Public Library Standards book. It has now been moved online. So there's 12 sections. There's a link in the memo that you were given in the board packet. So we will, myself, some of the staff and you guys, please review that. And then we'll come back in December with the application filled out for you to review, which will then be submitted in January. So, yeah, but pretty much, application, pretty much the same, just the format's different now. It's online, so that is, I think that's everything for per capita.
All right. And other.
I have just a couple things in other, as you can see, the construction is moving along. I don't have pictures today because it's kind of more of the same, the ceilings taken out, the carpets taken up. But we are moving through, we're just wrapping up phase 3 right now, which is kind of this section of the library, back, kind of like that back wall. And then we're gonna be moving to this area, this corner. So basically these double doors back to that corner in the administrative area. So that starts on Monday and then that'll go through December 19th. That's our goal. We've hit every milestone on this so far. There's been, knock on wood, very minimal surprises. It's been gone really well. And then just a reminder that the library is gonna open late tomorrow because the village will be shutting off our water so they can make the new connection. We will be, once the water is turned back on, we'll notify staff that will be opening within an hour. And so once that gives staff an hour to get here, then we'll be opening up. So they're estimating 6 to 7 hours, but it could be 3 hours or more. But we're shooting for latest to open at 3 o'clock. But of course, it's out of our hands. So just a reminder for that. That's everything I've had in other, yeah.
Because I know Amy, you mentioned yours had a FOIL notice. Is there anything like that?
There is,
here?
yes.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be covering the water fountains tonight
Okay.
after we close. And then we'll be putting signs on all of the faucets
Okay.
to say that don't drink it until
Okay.
you get the all clear. Yeah.
All right, I had a few others. One, trustee Gala presented our budget to the village board on November 10th, and it went very well. There were several questions. There was one community member that had some questions. Trustee McLeany and Watts were there. I was there, several staff members, and I thought it went really well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was terrific. The village at their most recent committee of the whole meeting, they got into a discussion about, knowing your rights and, there was some discussion about what to do if, for undocumented people or for activity regarding that. Anyway, the village came up with an interim plan, which they put on their website, and they also promoted our session that happened tonight. It was a virtual session at 6:30, similar to Know Your Rights. So they promoted that on their social media as well. And I know that that's, someone who couldn't watch it tonight can go back and watch it. They are putting together, actually, based on their board meeting last night, they're putting together not a law, not a proclamation.
Resolution.
Yeah, a resolution, so they're gonna figure that out. The mayor's breakfast, prayer breakfast is February 5th, if anyone can attend. I went last year, it was really great. There were a lot of people from the different boards in Arlington Heights and different churches, and it was a really nice, the speaker was terrific, so if you can attend, that would be great. What else? Did find out, I attended a Illinois Library Trustee lunch and learn session, and they did confirm as part of their education just in the session that we all do have to present you a certificate that said that we took the sexual harassment training this year. So that was just added to the law, apparently. And so we have to do it every year and get you the certificate, similar to how we get you the certificate that says that we filled out the paperwork regarding. Yes, yes, exactly. So we will make sure to do that. And the other thing that I just wanted to talk about and get other people's opinion, I've noticed that the school boards, the village board, the Wheeling Township Board put their documents online before their meetings, which I think makes sense from a transparency perspective. So I kind of wanted to open discussion about that and see what we think about that.
Documents meaning our board packet?
Our board packet.
Would we be able to put like a watermark or something, especially for like those that aren't approved? That would be my only concern, is I just don't want
Yeah,
somebody to
right.
think, oh, these are approved,
Right.
but they're not.
Yeah, we could put like draft on it or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they must do that. I haven't looked at that specific.
Has anybody asked to see any of our documentation prior to a meeting?
Melissa Kayer has mentioned that in the past and just asked if she could have access to, I don't remember what it was specifically, to, yeah.
Well, and I noticed, like, I've gone to Wheeling Township, because I'm in Wheeling Township meetings. They have the whole packet there when you walk in, which seems like a lot of printing, which I wouldn't necessarily want to get into, because quite often we don't have members of the community attend. And I know that by law, we have to put our agenda up 24 hours ahead of time, correct? Or if we were to cancel a meeting like a cow or something. I mean, I just think to be transparent, I think 24 hours ahead of time would be appropriate. I'm not, if we have a meeting on a Tuesday like today, I'm not suggesting that we put it out Friday, like when we all get it, because maybe we need some time to read through it, and if there's something controversial or whatever, make an opinion about it or whatever, but it seems to me that since in this day and age, you're just basically putting the packet online 24 hours, it could be an easy thing to do, to be similar to other boards in town.
It would be nice if, so when I pulled up the calendar, and when we post that there's like a board meeting, it would be nice if we put a link on the page to where all the materials are. Where if you go to where it says like there's a board meeting, click it, or like post the link to the agenda.
Right.
They do
mean,
that, the
yeah,
village
it's
does
still-
that, I would.
It's hard to find.
yeah, I
Like
mean, like, if
about
you
us,
don't
Board of trustees.
know
like
and
everything,
where you're
yeah.
looking for, it'd be nice to just at least have the agenda linked in so people could see like, okay, that's something I feel passionately about.
Yeah, as we're reviewing, this might be a time to think about that as you're redoing the website.
Yeah, and in 2026, we have budgeted for some different document management software for our meetings. So we'll be able to incorporate that pretty easily, I think.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, I would think just to be as transparent as we are, that would be a good idea to do, and to be similar to other boards in town. Are we using one of the ones that one of the boards, like I know the village board uses one system, I think the school boards use a different one.
Right, we've looked at both the ones that the school boards use and the village uses, and we have one more, I think the demo's tomorrow, that we want to look at before we make a final decision.
Yeah,
But,
well, that would
yeah,
be
we have
helpful.
one. Yeah.
Very good. All right, well, does anyone else have any other? No, then I would like a motion to move to close session in accordance with 5 ILCS 120/2C1 to review the executive director's performance goals.
So moved.
Yeah.
What she said.
All right, I made the motion, or trustee Kelly made the motion, trustee McLeany seconded it, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.